Wind howled around Kyle's house. A big gust rattled his window. Rain pounded the roof above his head. Waves crashed on the beach. Kyle pulled the covers over his head. He didn't want to think about his dad, but the storm made him remember. When there was a big storm, Dad always woke up early. He always made pancakes for breakfast. He always called Kyle and Mom. They ate pancakes until they almost burst. While they ate, they looked out the window. Waves tumbled and roared against the beach. "This storm will bring lots of treasures," Dad always said. After breakfast, Kyle and Dad always put on their rain slickers. They took their treasure bags. Hand in hand, they went in search of treasure. One day, Dad found a glass fish float. Another time, Kyle found a running shoe. It fit his left foot. The best treasure they ever found was a toy sailboat. It was yellow and red and had a white sail. "It must have fallen from someone's boat," Dad said. That morning, Kyle felt happy and sad. He felt happy for himself. He felt sad for the child who lost his special sailboat. This morning, Kyle felt sad again. He felt sad for himself. He pushed the covers from his face. Morning light crept around his window blinds. He looked at the beautiful toy boat on his dresser. His eyes watered. There would be no more treasures. Dad didn't live here anymore. Kyle shut his eyes tight. He tried not to think about treasures. He tried not to hear the roar of the wind and waves. Soon he drifted off to sleep. He dreamed about Dad. He dreamed they walked along the beach hand in hand. He dreamed they found the other running shoe. "Kyle," his mom called. Kyle's eyes flew open. He smelled coffee brewing. He smelled pancakes cooking. Was his dream real? He leapt out of bed and ran to the kitchen. His mom was making pancakes. She bent to give him a big hug. "Go and get dressed," she said. "The wind is dying. It's almost time to search for treasures." She smiled at him with watery eyes. Kyle blinked. His eyes filled with tears. Mom and Kyle didn't eat very much. They weren't hungry today. They watched green and white waves break against the beach. Rain streaked down from a dark gray sky. Kyle helped his mom clear the breakfast table. "Go put on your rain slicker," she said, "and don't forget your treasure bag." Kyle didn't want to go out, but he didn't want to disappoint Mom. She was trying to make things better for him. So he dressed in his yellow rain slicker. He took his red mesh treasure bag from its hook. They walked hand in hand along the sand. Clumps of seaweed lay tangled on the shore. Chunks of driftwood dotted the beach. Kyle carried his treasure bag and tried to smile. "Look, Kyle." His mom stopped at a clump of seaweed. "This might hold a treasure." Kyle lifted handfuls of green eelgrass. He dragged a long, brown piece of kelp from under the clump. It felt cold and slimy in his bare hands. Underneath was a stick of driftwood. "Not much treasure," he said. The stick was just right for walking, though. Kyle carried it with him. He poked at another clump of seaweed. Underneath was a big, red, dead jellyfish. "Don't touch that," Mom said. "The stingers hurt even after the jellyfish dies." "That's no treasure," Kyle sighed. He wanted to go home. "Look at that," Mom said. Kyle looked down the beach near the water's edge. He saw a huge clump of tangled seaweed. "I bet there's a treasure under there," Mom said. They lifted away handfuls of seaweed. They moved chunks of driftwood. Underneath was a huge, flat driftwood board. On it lay something black and wet and hairy. It was tangled in seaweed. Don't touch it, Mom said. I think it's a dead seal. But Kyle lifted one more handful of seaweed. It has an ear, he said. It looks like a dog. Poor dog, Mom said. It must have drowned in the storm last night. Kyle pulled away more seaweed. He uncovered the dog's face. Its eyelid moved. It's alive!